This is part 2 of the Constitutional Convention story. This story is actually taken from an absolutely remarkable book written by a British author whose name is Andrea Wolfe. The book is called The Founding Gardeners, and I would heartily encourage you to purchase this book and make it part of your own personal collections. It is without equal when it comes to telling the early stories of gardening in the United States. So, our gentlemen had left their various rooming houses and had headed off at 5 a.m. to meet and go to Bartrams Garden. They arrived there at 6 a.m. where they found the son of John Bartram toiling in his garden already. He immediately put down what he was doing and greeted the individuals, each one. The Bartrams at this point were very used to, shall we say, odd behavior coming from especially the elite within the nation. And so he was not at all put off by the fact that unannounced, a group of visitors, 12 in all, had decided to come and visit him at 6 in the morning. Included in this group were 3 men whose names we all need to remember. Caleb Strong was one of the delegates from Massachusetts. Hugh Williamson and Alexander Martin were the 2 delegates from North Carolina. And then there were 9 other individuals included in the entourage. Bartram's Garden was a unique idea for its day and its time. John Bartram the father, who was born in 1699 and passed away in 1777, had wanted to build a garden that was a landmark that included within the fields that he cultivated plants and shrubs and trees from all of the 13 original colonies. So John the father and his 2 sons, John and William, had traveled throughout these colonies, collecting plants from each and every locale. And in addition, as people heard about what he was doing, they would send him unique and rare plant specimens to be included in this garden of the colonies. So William was eager to show these 12 men what he had here in these gardens. The garden was divided into 2 areas. There was an upper garden that was divided into 3 rectangular spaces. One was for fragile plants that had just been sent to the Bartrams. One was for vegetables. One was for flowers. And herbs were usually included in either the vegetable or the flower garden. Then down a few steps, a few stone steps, and passing a beautifully constructed stone wall, because John Bartram the father had actually been a stonemason by profession, you came to the other part of the Bartram Garden. And that part of the garden included less rigorous, less symmetric spaces with winding paths and scoops and views occasionally of the river and lots of trees and plants and shrubs, all from the original 13 colonies. As the men accompanied William Bartram in this bottom part of the garden, he made sure he pointed out the interrelationships between all of the plants. Those plants had been brought from all areas of the then 13 original colonies. So there were fragile southern plants from Georgia and South Carolina, and sturdy conifers and deciduous trees from the northern colonies. And all of them together flourished in this environment, even though most of them were not accustomed to the Philadelphia winters and summers for various reasons. But what William pointed out was how the large conifers from the north protected the fragile shrubs and plants from the south, and how the heavy-leaved shrubs and plants from the south protected the exposed roots of those large conifers from the north. He made sure to point out the diversity of the plant material that was coming from all these different colonies, and he made sure to point out the rare plants that they would only see in one area or another, but only in those areas. All of those 12 men gathered about William as he explained and taught them about the interrelationship of these plants. And after 3 hours of being in this beautiful garden, on a day which had actually ended up being a blessing, because the night before, amidst horrendous thunderstorms, that horrible heat wave had finally ended. And as they walked through this cool, dew-laden garden, they themselves were refreshed in more ways than just because it was a cool morning and a break in the heat wave. Near to noon, they all got back in their carriages and left Bartram's Garden with lots and lots